YouTube, it's Brownie from the Young Zings. Welcome to the second installment of Market Watch. So pretty much we're going to talk about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Market in this video, but specifically we're talking about Breakers of Shadow. We're going to talk about two things. The first thing we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about singles in the set, and like probably I'm going to gauge like what singles are like probably where they're going to settle at, and like whether or not like what's a good buying price for most of them, especially a lot of the chase ones. And I'm also talking about boxes at the end. So like because like there some people are wondering if like, oh, should I get a box of BOSH? Is it worth it at this point? And I'll kind of get more of that at the end. So first we're going to talk about singles. Obviously the two main chase cards of this set are, as you can imagine, Full-Prime Pendulum Sorcerer and Solemn Strike. And currently, today's the first day of Sneak Peek, and they're sitting, they're both, Solemn Strike is slightly less, sitting at about 80 flat, and Pendulum Sorcerer is like 85 across the board, for the most part. Cyber Dragon Infinity is the third highest right now. I've seen some pretty astronomical prices for Infinity, and I just want to say, like, I mean, we'll get into Solemn Strike and Pendulum Sorcerer first, but for Infinity, I don't care if you need Infinity. Don't buy it right now. This is a terrible idea. I was watching the Pojo forums to see what kind of what the pull ratios were out of sneak peek packs, and I saw this one guy's like, oh yeah, by the way, I sold my Infinity for $100. It's like, are you serious? Someone actually bought that? Listen, like, I understand everyone has the right to spend money as they please. That's one of the fundamentals one of the fundamental rights that we have. But dude, $100 for Infinity, I swear it's gonna be 40 to 50 in like a week or two, and hell, even probably less than that. Infinity's not gonna hold at all. Infinity, I really think, is gonna be like a $20 to $30 card once the price is settled, because what's gonna happen here is, and this really impacts the whole set overall. Remember the Secret Forces? The Secret Forces I talk about a lot whenever I talk about Breakers of Shadow, because I think it's gonna be a similar thing. You're going to have the very best deck come largely out of this set. And the best deck next format is, if you remember, Performance and POW. The Secret Forces is Necros. And in the Secret Forces, there were people busting open cases in order to get the Brio. Brio was like 1 per 5 boxes, Valk was 1 per 2 boxes, and Trish was like 1 per 3. Sorry, I think, yeah, it's Brio 1 per 5, Valk 1 per 3, and Trish 1 per 2. I might have those ratios mixed up, but I know like Brio was like really hard to pull. Brio was like $130, Valk was like 60 or to 70 when he settled, and Trish was like 30 for a while. Even though that was probably like low much, since he was 0-1 of. But what happened was, since there's so many people opening cases at a time, I remember going to look at people were just like their boxes all over the tables. The market was oversaturated with these singles, because like if they opened their packet, it wasn't Brio, Trish, or Valk. It was a trash pack. Even if there's like Necrons and Unicorn. So like Necrons and Unicorn at the time, right now he's $1.10, which is like surprisingly high. Remember, this set's out of print, so like these prices change since then. But Unicorn like was the same price as a stamp. Unicorn is 50 cents, and the cost of a stamp is 49 cents. So they would make 1 cent profit if they sold you Unicorn or online, because Unicorn was like literally so like, it's not that it was like super easy to pull. It's just that like it wasn't a short print, so there are just so many of them, and everyone had Unicorns, so like it wasn't worth anything. That's kind of what I think is going to happen with Breakers of Shadow. There are so many. If it's not like the main chase cards, it's going to be nothing. I remember in Breakers of Shadow, everything was less than $1. Barring Yosenju Dieback, who was this guy right here, and the only reason why he was the exception because he was also a short print. What's going to happen here is a similar situation. Now, we don't have any confirmation in terms of like what's short printed in this set, because we get you can gauge that best once we open boxes. Sneak peek packs aren't usually the most reliable, but once we start opening boxes, we might be able to see if there are any short prints in this set. But it's the same principle. There are 2 main chase cards in this set, arguably 3. We can call Infinity the Trish of this set, because he actually is a 0-1 of. So that's funny how this works. And then you have Pendulum Sorcerer, who's a mandatory 3 of in the best deck, and you have Solemn Strike, which is not a mandatory 3 of in the best deck, which I'll get into later. So those are all the main chase cards. Every other single is going to be, there's going to be so many of them on the market. People are going to be opening cases, opening boxes of the set, trying to get these chase cards. There's going to be oversaturation of singles on the market, leading to everything else that isn't these main chase cards pretty cheap. That includes Twin Twister. Twin Twister is going to be victim. I think he's going to get the Unicorn treatment, as I kind of think it should be called. Twin Twister is $12 on was this Ideal 808 pre-order, and I saw some prices earlier, like probably around the same price, between like six to $12 for the most part. It's nothing less than six right now. People are pretty greedy, all right. Twin Twister is not worth $12. I understand it's a very good card. It is actually genuinely worth $12, but it's gonna drop. There's no reason to overpay for it if you can just wait a week, okay? Because there's so much product open. There'll be Twin Twisters everywhere. Like you can probably find them on the ground or something. Like it's gonna be the unicorn. Everything and Twin Twister is like one of the top 5 best cards of the set. Every other card in the set is gonna get the same treatment, unless it's a secret rare. Secret rares, again, they're the hardest to pull, so they're kind of different. I mean, they're kind of. I think Raffle Sia is going to be like the dieback of the set, where like it's going to be more expensive than it really should be, just because it's a secret rare, but it's still going to be pretty cheap overall. Raffle Sia, I haven't really checked its prices on other sites. It's actually a pretty good card. Where it's going to settle 10 to 15. I don't imagine it being any less than 10. It's worth more than $10, but like it's not worth more than 15. I wouldn't go for that. Dark Eclipser, Cosmo Joe, both in trash. They're it's like pulling dieback, except these cards aren't actually good. Dieback's he's not even that good in Yosenju, but I mean he's a short print. These cards are secret, so I guess that's the way it works for that. Everything else, if you're trying to get Cosmic Tin Can, this Buster Blader secret guy, Ariadne, even Master Pendulum, like they're all going to be so cheap. So if you guys are trying to get singles for the set, just wait. But for these three, we're going to talk about each of these specifically. So I'm talking about Infinity already. Infinity is going to drop. He's probably going to be 20 to 30, 35 or so. Don't imagine if he might bottom out. It's not unlikely that he would bottom out where like he reaches a point where there's so many infinities out there, but like no one like no one will want to sell him for any less than 35. So if that is what happens, then that's just what happens. But with Solemn Strike, I've begun to realize that Solemn Strike it's really good, and you can play it in a wide variety of decks, but it's probably going to end up being less expensive than Pendulum Sorcerer, and I'll kind of explain why. Solemn Strike is not that great in Pepe, okay? It's really good, but it's not like... I'm starting to predict that the best version of Pepe next format is just going to be a Pepe deck that, like, kills your opponent, but, like, Solemn Strike... How does your Solemn Strike kill your opponent when, like... Solemn Strike doesn't OTK your opponent. Solemn Strike doesn't set your Pendulum Seal. Solemn Strike doesn't attack for game. Pendulum decks want to open like a ton of monsters and a ton of like cards they can do their combos with. Then playing Magician, I realized that I played like one trap. It was Vay's Emptiness. And I don't think Pepe's gonna play that. You just want to open as many combo pieces as possible that we can facilitate your game state and just kill your opponent. Solemn Strike is probably gonna have a similar application. Where I think like it's really solid, and if they're gonna play any trap, it's probably gonna be this card, or Warning, or maybe even Emptiness. But like, I don't think the best Pepe deck is gonna max out 3 of these things. It's gonna be good in everything else that's not Pepe, so it's still gonna be like really expensive. But if the very best deck, the mandatory 3 of that it needs a Pendulum Sorcerer. So Pendulum Sorcerer therefore is probably gonna be the most expensive card in this entire set. Where is he gonna settle? Between 60 and 70. I understand that there are 2 secrets per set, per box. We can say more definitively once there are more boxes open to see like if he's short printer or anything. But he's genuinely like, I don't really think he's gonna go any less than 50. Any less than 50, I don't even think he's going to go less than 60. So 60 to 70, or like around 60 is probably best. Because Pepe is the best deck. I mean, 3 this card. That's just the way it is. Solemn Strike is not a mandatory 3 over the very best deck, so that's kind of how it goes with that. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think Ariadne is as great as I thought it'd be in Pepe. I kind of learned that Ariadne, it's hard to trigger Ariadne twice in Pepe. It's just it's such a brick when like you can't kill it very easily, even though it's really not that hard to kill with Pendulum Sorcerer. Sometimes like it is actually like a real brick, and you can only trigger it once. And like I'd rather hard draw a Solemn Strike and have my opponent like not know what it is than just search one Solemn Strike and have my opponent know what it is. In actuality, so I don't think Ariadne is going to be like that much. People are still going to play it, but it's not that great. Boxes. So we're talking about the boxes of the set. So I'm looking around, and I saw these people don't have boxes. Oh, you're out of stock too. Amazon had 90, and all the others was offered for 90 when I Google searched Turco and Hearn. Breakers of Shadow booster box. All right. Okay, and I really don't see any less than 90. Okay, is this worth it? I don't think so, and I'll kind of explain why. The Secret Forces was not a good investment because it's like you pull Brio or Valk or you neg really hard. That's kind of what this set's going to do. If you don't pull Strike or Sorcerer, you're going to neg super hard. I mean, you can still pull Infinity and like it'll be okay. Or you can still and like pull cards like Netibus, which I think is really good. And Netibus is gonna be really cheap. I think you guys should to pick this up. I think Netibus is a great card. It's like $10 right now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get a playset for that cheap. It's so much better than $10. Um, Breakers of Shadow is a really good set, but it's one of those sets where like you either pull Strike or Sorcerer or you neg. And while there are 2 secrets per box, you still, in a perfect world, you only have a 1 in 4 chance of pulling any of the individual secret rares. So I don't know. And technically, it's a half chance of pulling. Actually, I have to double check the math on that. I'm pretty sure because when it comes to the probability, sometimes there are other factors that go into it. But I really don't think BOSH is worth $90 a box. You're better off just buying packs because remember, 24 packs, or 24 times 4, that's 96. So it's like you can literally just go to Walmart and buy 24 packs and pretty much cost the same much. And hey, you can just buy less than that if you want to. So it's really not that great. I suppose if you can get it for less than 90, it's kind of good. There's some in Europe. Some of them were going for like 70 euros, which actually isn't that bad. If you guys in Europe, if you guys get between 60 and 70 euros, I actually would do that. That's pretty solid. But for 90 US dollars, it's really not worth it. So if you guys haven't gotten a box of BOSH, you're too late to the party. I would just pass. So I guess that's kind of what I just think overall. I think Solemn Strike is probably I haven't said its price. Solemn Strike. 40 to 50, and maybe even less because of this fact that we have 2 cigarettes per box. It could easily go less, because there's so much product that's open. But I don't think Source is going to drop any less than 60, 50 to 60. So like, we're gonna watch and see. I could be wrong because ideally, we're all new to this. We're all new to the new rarity system. The High Speed Riders is completely different from this set because this set is much larger, and this set has a lot of chase cards, and it's going to be ripped open. They're going to be boxes on your tables. That locals are gonna be cases, and there are gonna be people who are gonna be pulling this and going like, "Oh my gosh!" It's one of those sets. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes, and I'll keep my eye on it. So thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what cards you want from Breakers of Shadow, and if you have any questions in terms of like, how much do you think Netibus is gonna go for at its lowest? And I'll be like, I'll tell you. I can be happy to have a conversation with you down in the comment section below. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.